2022 Toyota Highlander versus the Toyota 4Runner. Which mid-sized SUV should you buy? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. For this video, we're going to take an in-depth look at both the Toyota Highlander and the Toyota 4Runner to find out which is the better mid-sized SUV to buy. Although both of these SUVs are extremely popular and do overlap in terms of their size, there are some major differences between them to be aware of. So to see how these two SUVs compare in terms of their design, performance, reliability, and value for money, make sure to stick around until the end of this video. And if you enjoy and get value out of this video, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I post 2 videos a week, always straight to the point, valuable car buying advice designed to help you, the consumer. So we're going to start things off behind the wheel of the Highlander. Now, the first major difference to outline between these two SUVs is the fact that the Highlander is a crossover-based SUV with unibody construction, whereas the 4Runner is a traditional body-on-frame SUV. Now, what this means is that because the Highlander is a unibody car-based SUV, it does feel very much like a normal car from behind the wheel, which means that it is incredibly easy to drive with an excellent balance between both handling and ride quality. But not only is it a very smooth and comfortable SUV to drive, but it also gives you a few great options when it comes to the drivetrains too. Unlike the 4Runner, you can get the Highlander with 2 different drivetrains, a regular gas engine and a hybrid. My test car that I'm driving here is the hybrid, which uses a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine with a pair of electric motors and a hybrid battery pack. Now, of course, the major benefit to this is the fuel economy. The Highlander hybrid is rated for up to 36 miles per gallon, or around 7 liters per 100 kilometers, which is amazing fuel efficiency for a large 3-row SUV like this. Now, even though the hybrid's blend of both performance and efficiency is pretty unbeatable, if you want a traditional gas engine, you also have the choice of a regular 3.5-liter V6 engine with an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, it is important to mention that this V6 engine is going to be replaced for the 2023 model year with a 2.4-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine, which comes from the Lexus NX350. Now, time will tell whether the 4-cylinder turbo is going to be a better engine than the V6 it's replacing, but in any case, if I were to buy a Highlander, I would no question be buying the hybrid. The amazing fuel economy that it offers is just way too hard to pass up, especially with today's extremely high gas prices. And not only is it extremely fuel efficient, but it's also known to be extremely reliable as well. Toyota is known for making some of the most reliable and long-lasting hybrid systems on the market. They've been doing it for an extremely long time, so if you're looking for a fuel-efficient SUV to hold on to for upwards of 10 to 15 years, the Highlander Hybrid is the one to have. It also has some major advantages when it comes to the interior space too. Unlike the 4Runner, which gives you a choice between either 2-row or 3-row seating, the Highlander comes standard as a 3-row SUV with either 7 or 8 passenger seating. Although the Highlander and the 4Runner are very close in terms of their size, the Highlander does feel like the slightly more comfortable SUV in terms of interior space. Having said that though, the 3rd-row seats are very tight, and you also have a much smaller cargo area than what you get in the 4Runner too. There are some similarities between the interiors though, especially when it comes to the infotainment system. Both SUVs do have a very similar touchscreen infotainment system with a dated user interface which Toyota has been using for quite some time. Although the touchscreen does have fairly dated looking graphics, it is fairly easy to use, and it does come with both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. And the rest of the interior does have a great setup with lots of straightforward controls, excellent storage space, and excellent build quality too. The interior of the Highlander is just very comfortable, and in terms of features and tech, it's also a huge step forward in terms of what you get with the 4Runner. That's especially true when it comes to the safety tech. The Highlander comes with a very comprehensive list of active safety technology as part of Toyota Safety Sense, some of which is not even offered on the 4Runner. This includes the semi-autonomous driving features like the lane centering feature of the adaptive cruise control. And not only that, but you also have a top-notch safety rating from the IIHS, which is something that you don't get with the 4Runner either. So if you want an SUV that's not only practical and feature-packed, but also top-notch in terms of safety, then between the two, the Highlander seems to have the edge. At the end of the day, the Highlander does have a lot of great qualities that almost anybody would look for in a comfortable and practical SUV. So how exactly will the 4Runner stack up against the Highlander? Well, it's time to get behind the wheel and find out. Alright, behind the wheel of the 2022 Toyota 4Runner. Now, right off the bat, you can tell that this is a very different SUV from the Highlander. It feels a lot more truck-like on the road, which is to be expected because it is a body-on-frame SUV, as opposed to the Highlander, which is a unibody SUV, much like a regular car. And what this means being more truck-like is that the 4Runner does have more road noise than what you get with the Highlander. It also has a more jittery ride, and it's not quite as smooth either. Now, I wouldn't call this an uncomfortable SUV. It's certainly perfectly fine to live with every day, but it's not going to be nearly as comfortable as the Highlander. And unlike the Highlander, this is a proper off-road capable SUV. Not only is it body on frame, but you also have a proper four-wheel drive system with a 2-speed transfer case and a true low range. And you don't even have to go for the top of the line TRD Pro in order to get the most off-road oriented version of the 4Runner. You could just go for a mid-range model like the TRD Sport that I'm test driving here, and it's still going to give you more than enough off-road capability. And not only is the 4Runner very capable off-road, but it's also very tank-like in terms of its durability. Unlike something like a Jeep or a Land Rover, which has all kinds of quality issues and could give you problems down the road, you're not going to have those issues if you buy a 4Runner. The reliability of the 4Runner is legendary. These things are built to last. And that's not only because of their heavy-duty off-road components or the body-on-frame construction. It's also because of the drivetrain, which Toyota has been using for a very long time. The 4Runner only comes one way, powered by a naturally aspirated 4-liter V6 engine with a 5-speed automatic transmission. Now, there's nothing technologically advanced about this drivetrain, but it has been around for an extremely long time. It's very well proven, and most importantly of all, it's built for durability and longevity. The 4-liter V6 produces 270 horsepower and 278 pound-feet of torque, which doesn't exactly give it quick acceleration, but it does give you a very decent towing capacity of up to 5,000 pounds. Now, even though I do love the fact that Toyota has stuck with the same V6 engine and 5-speed automatic, which again is amazing for reliability, it's not exactly a very fuel-efficient drivetrain. With that ancient technology combined with the brick-like construction and that pretty hefty curb weight, the 4Runner is only rated for around 16 to 19 miles per gallon, or roughly 12 to 16 liters per 100 kilometers. That means the 4Runner uses over twice as much gas as the Highlander Hybrid, which makes a pretty significant impact on your operating costs over the long haul. That being said, I don't think the 4Runner's poor fuel consumption is going to be something that buyers are really going to be surprised with, but one thing that is a little bit more disappointing is the safety. Because this is an ancient platform, the 4Runner is missing a lot of safety tech that you would find on the Highlander, like highway driving assist and lane keep assist. That being said, you can get some active safety tech like blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert, adaptive cruise control with lane departure warning, and you can also get a surround view camera system and an off-road camera, which is new for 2022. The camera system, though, much like the graphics for the 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system, are not exactly the most up-to-date, which is pretty fitting for the interior of the 4Runner, which is fairly dated overall. Although it is quite dated and not exactly that premium feeling, I really do appreciate the ruggedness and the straightforwardness of all of the controls. You also get plenty of space in here. The 4Runner is pretty much on par with the Highlander when it comes to total interior space. And it does have a larger cargo area than the Highlander, making it a lot more practical to carry stuff. Even though the interior is dated, much like the 4Runner as a whole, I really wouldn't change it for anything else. This is really why a lot of owners keep coming back to it and why it remains such a popular SUV on the market. It's not only this old school character that makes it such an appealing SUV, it's the ruggedness, the reliability, and the simplicity. It all just comes together to create a unique package that you really can't get anywhere else. And even though the 4Runner does cost more money than the Highlander, I really do think it's worth it when you consider that it is a more substantial and a far more capable off-road vehicle. Does the 4Runner make better financial sense to buy than the Highlander? The simple answer really is no. The Highlander is not only cheaper to buy than the 4Runner, but it has lower operating costs with much better fuel economy, especially if you buy it as a hybrid, and it's also much more family-oriented with better technology and a better safety rating too. For the majority of SUV buyers, it is the superior choice, and also has a rock-solid reputation for long-term reliability and very high resale value too. But having said all of that, if you're the type that doesn't mind sacrificing a bit of comfort, refinement, and fuel economy for a driving experience with a lot more character and fun, then the 4Runner is definitely going to satisfy you. And not only does it have a lot more character and is more satisfying to drive, but it's also a lot more off-road capable, of course, and it also has an amazing reputation for long-term reliability and very high resale value too, even well beyond that of the Highlander. Its archaic technology and refusal to change with the times is exactly what gives it its tank-like durability and makes it such a reliable SUV, and that's exactly why owners love it so much. And if I were in charge at Toyota, I honestly wouldn't change a thing. I would just leave the 4Runner alone and let it be a dinosaur right to the end of time. But unfortunately, that's not going to be a case. We're going to see a brand new 4Runner completely redesigned for the 2024 model year. And we'll have to wait and see what Toyota does. But in the meantime, let me know what you think of the 2022 or 2023 Toyota 4Runner and Highlander. Which of these two SUVs would you buy? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also take a look at some of my other videos by checking out these links over here. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And if you need additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to check out carhelpcanada.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.